So now I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to click on my lasso, and I'm going to make like 2 peaks. So I'm going to make like one here, and then I'll have one like there. Okay, and then drag it around. Okay, then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to make it a little bit lighter, and then click OK. Select my paint bucket tool. Okay, good. But I gotta drag it here. Nice. Okay, now I want my lake to be, then I'm gonna go to select, deselect, but let's say I want my lake to be a little bit bigger and I want these mountains to be up a little higher. So I click on this, or actually I can do this one first. Make sure I have my move tool. No, you don't have to do this, but I'm just being fussy. There we go. Okay, and then I can actually, there we go. Okay, so that's one good reason to keep them all on different layers. Okay, so here we go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tree. So I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to bring it to the top, and I'm going to name it tree. Then I'm going to go to edit, fill, and I'm going to make sure it says white, say okay. It's okay, don't worry. It's going to be fine, I promise. Then I'm going to go to filter, render, tree. Okay, and then this whole big window pops up, and you're going to go to advanced, and you're going to click on use custom color for leaves, and you're going to change that to black. Good. I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, there we go. Use custom color for branches. Black. Okay. And you can also, if you go back to basic, you can find whatever tree you want to use, okay? So I'm just a little partial to pine trees, spruce trees. Where did my spruce tree go? What's the matter, buddy? Oh, okay. So here's my tree. I click OK. And then I'm going to go to Edit and Define Brush Preset. And I'm making this a brush. So I say OK. Now look, it's a brush. See? Whatever color I have selected, I can make it, I can use that. I just click once and it's my brush tool. So I don't need this layer anymore, so I can bring this to the trash. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, right? That's a little too small. So I'm going to add my trees to my first layer. Maybe a little bit bigger. Good. Okay. And I'm also going to make them the same color. Okay. So I'm on my layer 2. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to pick the same color as my layer, say OK. And then when I make my trees, they're the same color as my layer. Oops, I don't know why that popped up. Okay. Good. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the second layer. So that looks like this one. And I'm going to click here and I'm going to select that color. And then these trees are going to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to dial it down a little. All right, so I'm using my brackets tool. Okay, to make these trees a little bit smaller. Oops, that one's kind of floating in space. Make sure your trees are like standing on the ground. Okay, and then I'm going to go to this layer, which is, what is that one? This one. And I'm going to choose that color. Say okay, and I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. Okay, I'm going to overlap them a little bit. Make little clusters. Good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, then I'm going to go to my layer here, and I'm going to make a couple trees there. So let's see, I'm going to make them real tiny. And then I'm going to click here, get that same color. Okay, so I've got some real tiny trees over here. Okay, now don't go too crazy. It doesn't look too bad. Looks pretty good. Alrighty. So now I'm going to add an animal. Or how about moose? Okay, here we go. Ooh, I like this guy. All right, so I click on him. And ooh, and he's transparent, so that's even better. And then I right click on him and say copy image. Then I go back to Photoshop. On my new layer, I hit Control V to copy him. And now my guy is on a transparent background, so that's even better. If you had a white background around yours, you would click over here and find the magic wand tool, and you would click and select all the white, and then you would hit delete. Okay? So now I'm going to make him a selection. So now I'm going to use the quick selection tool right here, and I'm going to make sure it has that plus symbol, and I'm going to click until my moose is selected. I've got some areas over here I'm missing. His antlers. Good. Okay, so it looks like everything is selected. The marching ants are all around him. Then I'm going to go to Edit, Fill, and I'm probably going to put him, let's see, if I go to foreground color, then it's going to choose this color. Okay, so I hit OK. All right, so this means I'm going to put him on that layer, but I kind of want to put him here. So I'm going to click this and select that color, say OK, and then I'm going to go to Edit, Fill, and try it again. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Select, Deselect. I'm going to zoom out. And then I'm going to hit Control T, and I'm going to make him a lot smaller, although moose are pretty big. And I'm going to put him there and hit return. And there he is. Nice. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is add a moon. So I'm going to click here on New Layer, and I'm going to use my elliptical marquee tool, and I'm just going to draw a moon over here, and then I'm going to go to Edit. Oops, not Stroke, that's not what I meant. Go to Edit Fill, and I'm going to fill with white. So let's see, I'm going to do white, say okay, very nice. And now I want to add like a glow around the edges of my moon. I'm going to go to Select, Deselect, and I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to go to Outer Glow, and I can change everything about this outer glow over here. It looks pretty good. All right, hit OK, and there's my moon. All right, and there's one more step. You're going to put an overlay over the whole thing. So you're going to go to Google, and you're going to go to Google, and you're going to search for abstract lighting. Okay. Very nice. So you're going to find some sort of lighting effect. Not too crazy. Okay, so maybe this. Okay, so I'm going to right click, hit copy, go into Photoshop, new layer, and hit Control Paste, Control T to stretch it out. Okay, then I'm going to go to my blending mode. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. The color burn. That doesn't look too bad. Lighten is kind of nice. Okay, so you're going to pick whatever one you like. Maybe let's see if I lower the opacity. Okay, and maybe I'll put my moon on top so I can see it better, right? Not bad. Maybe a little less opacity. That looks pretty cool. Okay, and then I can also move it. So if I click on my move tool, that looks nicer up there. I just didn't want my... There we go. I didn't want my moose to get blocked. Okay, and there you have it. So you've got your landscape with the darkest values in front, getting lighter and lighter until the back, where the lightest one is. You've got your trees, bigger in the front, getting smaller and smaller as they go back, the same color as the layer. And then you've got your moon. If you have a sun, or excuse me, if you have like a daytime one, you could do a sun. That would be great, and you can make it like a light yellow color. Okay,